Today we are reviewing. I am 19, turning almost 20 this year, so Toy Story 1, 2, and 3 were in the rotation when I was a kid. When I was growing up, Toy Story 3 just came out in around 2010. So that was definitely something that I was clinging to. I absolutely love those movies, and the thing that I love about Toy Story is that as you grow up and as you begin to mature, you start to realize that this isn't just a story about toys, this is a much deeper story. And that's why I really did love the concept of Toy Story 5. On a surface level, Toy Story 5 is about technology invading the houses of these toys and basically phasing them out. But there's so many different perspectives you can take on this movie, and this is what I love about movies. It's about how subjective they are. And a nice little bonus going into this theater, I ended up watching Toy Story 4 for the first time about a week or two ago. So it was fresh in my head, and I will say I enjoyed Toy Story 5 a lot more than I enjoyed Toy Story 4. But one of my favorite things about Toy Story 5 was about how we focused more on Bonnie this movie. In the previous film, we were focusing a lot more on Woody and Forky, and I really do feel like I love to get back to Bonnie because I feel like I resonate in her and her character. Bonnie doesn't take well to technology because she grew up with toys, and that isn't just how she functions. Some people don't do the same thing as some others, and I love that concept. And the issue that Toy Story 5 tackles is that Bonnie doesn't click well with technology. And even beyond that, Bonnie cannot make friends because technology has taken over so many of these houses. And I love the concept that Bonnie is so different from all these other children. And I think this movie explores these themes so well because we start to follow Jessie and Bullseye as they take on this burden by themselves. As we go on to learn, Jessie has these past trauma as she is now on her third kid. She had Emily, Andy, and now Bonnie. And as she is getting phased out, she feels that she is useless. And she feels that her purpose in this life is to give Bonnie a friend. So as this film follows Jessie and Bullseye, they go on this adventure and we end up meeting another girl that doesn't mesh well with technology, another girl that functions exactly like Bonnie, and Jessie tries to connect them. And then going out this whole movie, we see Bonnie try to conform and adapt to this world that she is being thrown into. Try to make friends through Lily Pad, and that is where we get the antagonist of the technology. And it's so cool to see how these concepts and these themes are getting thrown into Bonnie's face, and she is attempting to conform to them, but she just can't. She just can't adapt. And at this point in the film, I really stepped back in the theater and I saw myself in Bonnie because there are so many times in my life where I felt like there's just all these things getting thrown at me. Like, for example, college coming up, this and that. You're picking and choosing a college. You got to choose a destination for the rest of your life. And there's so many things that like people are expecting you to conform and you just don't because you can't. And while an 8-year-old trying to make friends is inherently different than somebody choosing a major in their college, the core principle is all the same. You have to conform to this idea to meet these results. If you want these results, you got to conform. And Bonnie just couldn't, so she suffered. She met these friends that just neglected her, weren't like her, and in turn, just treated her terribly. And Jessie wants nothing but the best for Bonnie because she feels that this is the last thing that she could do before she gets phased out by the tech. And then we see Jessie go down a different route that Lily Pad is going down. And we are still seeing the themes of these two different paths, which I'm absolutely loving. And then we go on to see Jessie end up in the house of her past child, her first child, where all her trauma began. And at this point in the film, we see Jessie hold this resentment towards technology. She takes all of the resentment out on this technology because she feels because of them, they are beginning to become useless. So as Jessie is losing her purpose in life, she doesn't know what to do. She doesn't know how to feel. She doesn't know how to manage this. She doesn't know how to cope. So what does she do? She takes it out on the technology. And the technology doesn't know how she's feeling, doesn't know why she's feeling like this. So they feel hurt and they start taking it out on her. And we start to feel this unhealthy, toxic environment begin to grow. As the movie goes on, we start to see this toxic environment that Jessie has created with the technology start to break. And she starts to see the technology for what they are. And she starts to realize they're only doing what she is doing for the children. They're doing the same exact thing, but they're going about it differently. And this is just another beautiful moment because, again, in life, you meet so many different kinds of people. You meet people from different paths of life, different ways of life. And at the end of the day, everybody is still human. Everybody still wants the same exact thing of happiness. So I saw that in that part of the movie, and it was just absolutely beautiful to me. And even beyond the main plot of Toy Story 5, there was a subplot going on with Buzz. Buzz is in love with Jessie, and he doesn't know how to express those feelings to her. He doesn't know how to show them. Well, everybody knows it but Jesse. So you start to see Buzz trying to go onto this, trying to propose, and I ended up seeing Toy Story 5 with my girlfriend. So with her sitting right next to me, this was just, this subplot had a spot for me. It got a little emotional, but I absolutely love that subplot as well. And while I believe Toy Story should have ended at the third installment, one thing that Toy Story does beautifully is perspective. There is so much different perspective you can bring into these movies, which is what makes them beautiful to me. And I previously talked about this, but one of the different perspectives I've seen online, and something that I can just imagine from my parents watching this, is how would a parent feel about this movie? With all these parents now growing up and raising their children through technology, I've seen this constant take all over TikTok. And one of the best takes I've seen about this is by the creator Straw Hat Goofy. He is a father, and he grew up with Toy Story just like all of us. He grew up on Toy Story 1, 2, and 3, and he lived that through Toy Story. And with Toy Story 5 coming out and him now becoming a father, he saw Toy Story 5 through something differently than you and me, because we don't have children. We don't know what that's like to raise a child through technology and having to navigate those different obstacles. But for him, he understood it differently than what you and I could have. And I feel like that is just so beautiful, because movies are just so subjective, and involving the different perspectives just makes movies just even more beautiful. All in all, I feel like Toy Story 5 is an excellent movie. This gets a 7 out of 10 for me, and I don't know what you guys are doing still sitting here and not running to the movie theaters and watching it. We are in a day and era where you need to support movies as much as possible, because streaming services are trying to put them out of their jobs. Streaming services are literally invading the houses of movie, like how tech is invading the toy houses in Toy Story 5 terms. So we need to support movies as much as possible. But guys, if you haven't seen Toy Story 5, please go do it. If you guys love Pixar, if you guys love Toy Story, what are you doing? What are you waiting for? With that being said, guys, thank you so much for coming out and listening to me rant about Toy Story 5. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.